This is the Durango SRT. This thing has 475 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque and an all-wheel drive SUV. It has huge Brembo brakes. It has that big 6.4 liter Hemi making that 470 horsepower. And with it being an SUV though, is it practical? One of the great things about this being a 3-row passenger SUV is it has a ton of cargo room in the back when you flip the seats down. So this is going to be kind of an ongoing practicality test for pretty much any new vehicle we test. We call it now the Eli test. How much cargo space is in the rear? Eli?
In increments of Eli.
In increments of Eli. How many Elis can we fit in here?
Right,
Go for it. Dude, you could almost get 2 Elis in there.
Yep. Just so.
Yeah. So it's actually very practical for even being a fun SUV. So I think we could actually fit 2 Elis back in there. That's a 2 Eli measurement. That's a very good measurement for practicality as far as cargo space goes. But a bunch of other nice features that this has. This Durango is pretty much fully loaded. It has Blu-ray players in the back seat, and you can even enjoy that video with your kids if you're parked or going below 2 miles an hour on the front digital screen right here. It has neat little features where you can just push a button and those rear headrests just fall down. The thing that I really like about the Durango SRT is it comes with a ton of nice features. This one's fully equipped, so it's got pretty much all the options, but it's also just a really good family SUV. And when you get the SRT package, oh my goodness, does it make this thing fun. I mean, it has launch control. Wow. And that launch control is a blast. And it's amazing that Dodge has made this huge, heavy SUV, putting a all-wheel drive system in it, giving it big old Brembo brakes, giving it that big 6.4 liter Hemi in it, and then they gave it launch control. I mean, come on. That's just stinking awesome. And then you have the square setup of the rims. So you have, I believe, 295s at all 4 corners. That's a huge, wide path at all 4 corners. And the amazing thing about this is it actually handles really well for how big and how heavy this car is. I mean, some people like seriously might look at this thing and go, why? Why would you want an SUV to do this? And I think the perfect answer is you don't need it. You want it. And it's especially for those enthusiasts who have a family and they want to have fun even when they're just driving back and forth to the grocery store or whatever they're doing. I mean, it's just so much fun. I mean, the paddle shifters, like normally in an SUV, I don't like paddle shifters. I think it's silly, even in a performance SUV, because the big thing with paddle shifters, even in this car, is when you start really turning the wheel around the corners, you can kind of lose the paddle shifters. But here's what they're really good for, especially in this car. So we're going to go down to 4th gear, give it a little gas. So with the aftermarket X-pipe, so getting rid of the mid-muffler, so he's done a mid-muffler delete on it, the gentleman who owns this car, and that gives you that ability to, at the flick of your wrist, to get a really cool fart noise out of the sound of your exhaust. Dodge, when they've built this exhaust, they didn't give it mufflers at the end, they gave it resonators. So the mid-muffler is literally that bread box in the middle, and when you take it out, oh my goodness, does it make this thing loud and brash and just awesome. That's only like half throttle and just flipping that paddle right at about 4,200 RPM, and it's just guaranteed every time to give you a good pop noise from the exhaust. And that sounds really stupid, but it makes this thing so much fun. It like, it makes me laugh every time I do it, like uncontrollably. And I don't know if that would get old. It might for some, but for me, it's a riot every single time. So we're on my favorite road here, and we're gonna try to hit these curves. So let's see how it really handles. Here we go. I mean, these are tight, twisty roads, and I feel like I'm really really getting after it. What a riot. I mean, these big tires hang on to the road. They really do. Holy cow. Woo! Yes, it handles really well, and it's a ton of fun to drive, even when you're pushing it a little bit through the twisties. I mean, it rolls. It's a big SUV. It rolls, but it holds on, which is really good. And the fun thing about this SUV is it's not just bonkers and crazy, and it's not just boring and capable of carrying 6 people with ease. It does them both very well. That rear seat, the far back, adults can fit back there rather comfortably, which is surprising. The second row here in the middle row, you have the DVD players or Blu-ray players, whatever it is. And it's captured luxury, fun, and practicality all in one vehicle. And for some people, that's the perfect package because they can't really afford to have a dedicated fun car and then a family car. So when you package it all together into one vehicle, it works really well. Dodge has done such a good job at being bonkers with this thing, at being practical, at being luxurious. I mean, the dash. I mean, I love the screen on this thing, all the apps that it has. It has so much technology. And that's not what this video is all about. The video is about the overall fun of this vehicle. But it does have practicality. It has neat little features where you just push a button and the rear headrests fall back or fall down. I mean, they think of nice features like that, and that's just so you can see out the rear window fine. The one weird thing about this vehicle in the dash is the center console is not centered with the center console. Did I say that wrong? The infotainment center is not centered with the center console. It's kind of weird the way it works, but that's minor. It feels a little lazy. It feels like they didn't really think about everything when they were designing the dash. They just kind of designed the dash separate from the rest of the vehicle. So when they came to put it in, nothing really lined up perfectly center, which is kind of a bummer, but it's not that big of a deal. You get used to it. It's not out of reach. It's just something funky that you noticed, and most of the time your passengers will notice too, because it's pretty obvious that it's not centered. Like I said, not a big deal. But overall, I love this Durango. I mean, the smiles and laughs that I get from this vehicle are insane. It's really made me realize that you can have a fun family car and it's still a ton of fun. I've always felt like there's just this little bit of, I don't know how to say it, what's the word compromise. I mean, yes, it's not a full-fledged sports car, but you can do it. You can take this thing to a track and have fun. You can. I mean, it's got tons of grip. It's heavy. You're not going to be setting the best laps times, but you're going to be having fun. Don't forget it. I mean, you're going to... You could be an idiot in this thing, have a huge smile on your face, and then go home and pick up your kids and go grocery shopping. I mean, it has all these really nice features. It's got adaptive cruise control. It's got lane keep assist. So it literally is, to me, that's kind of one of the standards of a nice luxury vehicle. Not a high-class luxury vehicle, but a nice luxury vehicle where it has the things like adaptive cruise control. It has lane keep assist. Those things that make highway driving a ton of fun. Let's merge with traffic here. No problem. So, now that I'm on the highway, I'm going to put it back in drive, basically. I'm going to set the cruise control. Let's set it. Where are we going? All right, set. So I got the cruise control set. Now, basically, everything's working for me. This thing is almost autonomous. Almost. It's not really autonomous. I mean, I can't sit here and do this forever. But when it goes to drift, I don't know if you can see the steering wheel moving itself and correcting itself to stay within the lane. I love that feature. A lot of people don't like this idea of the autonomous driving, but I really like it for something as mundane as highway driving. Because let's be honest, driving long distances on the highway is no fun. I mean, it's just not. Everything's designed to keep you moving at a steady pace and to not take sharp turns, and just it's all designed to have better mileage and everything like that. And that's where this comes in. And basically, I mean, I'm sitting here gesturing to you. Oh, it wants me to put my hands back on the wheel. I'm also gaining on the car in front of me, and the adaptive cruise control has slowed me back down. I think I've said this in almost every single video I've done with a car that had adaptive cruise control. I love it. I think it's an awesome feature. If you don't like it, I'm very surprised. I think it's super helpful at making the boring drive easier. So overall, I mean, I really love this SUV. I think they're just a blast to drive, and I really hope they make a Hellcat version of this. They make a supercharged 6.2 liter Hemi making 707 horsepower in this thing, because it would be a riot. With 7 people in the car, 6 or 7, oh my goodness, that would be so much fun. So I hope they do it, because that's the only thing that this thing's missing. To me, this is one of my favorite SUVs on the market right now, because of how bonkers it is, how practical it is, and how it's not crazy, stupid, expensive. It's not cheap, but it's not insane expensive like $100,000. It would be if they do the Hellcat version. But I love it. I love this thing. Probably one of my favorite vehicles. I'm not kidding. Not one bit. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please check out our podcast, the Carguments podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, whatever it's called. You can find it there as well. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers. And if you'd like to see us try anything else, like a different vehicle we should drive in comparison to this, please let us know. Because to me, this thing is awesome. Price range, power, practicality, fun factor, this has it all. I'm serious. I really think it does. So if you think there's anything out there that can compete with this, please let me know, and I'll try to get my hands on one to drive it. So thank you very much. Have an awesome day. Bye.